Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. As soon as I reversed engineered, okay, through Google by asking questions in a reverse kind of way, because when you ask questions to Google, when you ask questions in general is good, but if people ask me questions, you're basically asking Google. So just watch my information and just do reverse engineer and research what it is I'm putting out there. So I'm asking Google all these questions and I'm looking at bioelectricity, action potential. Do viruses have some kind of electrical current? Oh my God. And they mention a word called piezoelectricity. Now you see me focusing on that the last couple of days because I'm like, holy crap. I have found, like Eureka, I have found the, I don't know, what do you call it? The Holy Grail. The Holy Grail to what is going on right now. And this is coming out of California, Berkeley no less. And I used to work for engineering companies, research and development, like Tetra Tech in Berkeley. I was actually an admin or a receptionist for Tetra Tech research and development, but it was in their bioremediation or the remediation department trying to convert toxic soils into now something that can be used down the road for something useful, not be a toxic mess. So piezoelectricity. Okay, so here I am, going to my next chapter, which I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's my next chapter going to be and everything. And, I'm freaking flabbergasted on what the hell I'm actually discovering here. And so I'm like, okay, so how am I going to start this next chapter? Because I've already done a lot of the research on electromagnetism. I've done the research on the ionic and covalent bonding, the protons, neutrons, electrons. So you're getting all like the real technical, like nitty gritty stuff that you're like, oh my God, eyes glaze over. And believe me too. But the bigger picture is understanding what holds electrical charges in our universe. And yes, viruses hold data. They hold electricity. What's the piezoelectric effect? It's the ability of certain materials to generate an electric charge in response to applied mechanical stress. The word piezoelectric is derived from the Greek piezein, which means to squeeze or press, and piezo, which is Greek for push. So you wonder why people die from heart attacks, right? Because they have the piezoelectric effect, which is their body's inability to handle that jolt, that short circuit, that action potential. Your body generates energy, it generates heat, it's energy, it's electric, your heart is electric, your brain is electric, everything is electric. And then when there's extra electrical influences in the environment, it causes action potential, of which then, yes, people get cancer because that's growth, excessive growth, that when you have an imbalance in your immune system, yes, you're going to see then cancer. Your immune system holds both the agonist and the antagonist antibodies, growth and search and destroy. Okay, so one of the unique characteristics of this piezoelectric effect is that it is reversible, meaning that materials exhibiting the direct piezoelectric effect, the generation of electricity when stress is applied, also exhibits the converse piezoelectric effect. I know that. The generation of stress when electric field is applied. So it can go back and forth. Now, is that like AC/DC? I mean, that's what is DC? I know what alternating current. What is DC? I never really looked up DC. What is DC? What is DC power? DC current is the one direction flow of a charge. Okay, direct current. So there's alternating current, there's direct current. Okay, so there's definitely AC/DC going on in your cells. Okay, holy crap. All right, and then viruses are also piezoelectric. The viruses convert the force of the tap into the electric charge. Their generator is the first to produce electricity by harnessing the piezoelectric properties of the biological material. That's because the viruses arrange themselves into an orderly film that enables the generator to work. Okay? Piezoelectric biosensors are a group of analytical devices working on a principle of affinity interaction recording. A piezoelectric platform or piezoelectric crystal is a sensor part working on the principle of oscillation change due to mass bound on the piezoelectric crystal surface. In this review, which is part of an abstract of actual something from PubMed, biosensors having their surface modified with an antibody or antigen with a molecularly imprinted polymer with genetic information single-stranded DNA. Oh, this is where the antigen programmed triggering antibodies come into play. And the biosensors with bound receptors of biochemical origin are presented and discussed. The mentioned recognition parts are frequently combined with use of nanoparticles, and applications in this way are also introduced. An overview of this current literature is given and the methods presented are commented upon. And then, of course, it goes into the body of all this. So that's just the abstract, which I'm going to actually put in my paper because it's still about 4% of the whole actual. So I could use that as a reference, as an in-text citation. And then I'm looking up like harnessing viruses, and holy crap, there's so much about harnessing viruses and piezoelectricity, and then Berkeley lab scientists generate electricity from viruses. So this is where the Bay Area, yet again, is going to be revolutionary in harnessing the energy of the atmosphere and then injecting us, yes, as well as putting it out there, released through hosts that generate this energy. And this energy then uploads data, no different than when you're plugged in to your device and you're on the World Wide Web, which is basically the World Wide Web out there in the atmosphere. You got to have some kind of upgrades going on to make sure that you're able to handle all that data. So when Berkeley scientists can go and harness the different viruses, which is basically electricity, and then they compile and take that data and then use that in micro devices. That's where, like, what is it? Something medical device or American Medical Devices, where they're actually, that's how you're able to use these sensors and these different devices, implants in the body, to then send messages, messenger RNA, to the body to then do specific things. No different than when you put an application into a computer and it tells it to do different things. And so you can Google piezoelectricity and viruses harnessing energy and electricity, and oh my God, that's another rabbit hole. And then you look at biosensors and then immunosensors, and then also the antigen and the antibody action potential through the piezoelectric effect. And that is key to it all. Why people have symptoms and why they experience electrical shorts or bioelectrical shorts, which means that they don't survive heart attacks, strokes, or aneurysms. The fact that you do survive heart attacks, strokes, and aneurysms is because you have enough insulation to take in that action potential to carry you through another day. But as your body is degrading through entropy because of the aging process due to malabsorption and malnutrition, the body has less and less insulation to be able to handle that type of electrical current, the HCDC going on in the batteries of your cells. And so even when someone is extremely obese and they have weak vital organs, a surge of energy to your vital organs could cause things to explode. Yes. Blood vessels explode, major surges of power going through your vital organs, more than the body can handle because it's on a weak device. This is why those with heart conditions are going to have a hard time in this next atmosphere because of how weak their vital organs are. And so you have to understand the piezoelectric effect that all encompasses not only mechanical engineering, but also bioengineering. Okay? It's not just sequestered to the electrical engineering field, though they've compartmentalized it to make money and to also give people a specialty in specific areas. But if you don't connect the dots between bioengineering and electrical engineering, you're not going to see really the bigger picture. And so you're going to think symptoms are just something separate that's in its own little entity. Like, oh, I just had a heart attack, oh, I had a stroke. When you're not really connecting it to the bioelectrical impulses and the body's inability to handle that sustained charge. And so this is why people die. And, this is freaking insane. Like, this is artificial intelligence too. Artificial intelligence is harnessing those specific viral datas and, like I said, dicing and splicing, and then protein docking that they do the computer models first to see if there's a stability in what you're putting together. And then this is how humans are able to be genetically modified. This is how new species can be created. Okay, this is where like the whole island of Dr. Moreau. And so no matter what you do, if you don't have the ability to handle the action potential of the viruses in your environment through the atmosphere, as well as, your predispositions, if you can't handle your inability to adapt, then yeah, obviously you're going to pass away. So no matter what, you have to be able to strengthen your body to handle this extraordinary action potential, which is the artificial intelligence of these viruses that are harnessed, that's an energy harness that is causing the piezoelectric effect. And so this is why it's so incumbent upon you to not only do Jilly Juice, but to get people to understand that, and that's my job right now, is to put it all together, which I'm doing. And so what I'm going to do in this next chapter, what did I call my next chapter? I already finished with the New World Order and Georgia Guidestones and the intentions, but also giving them a little bit of kudos because, yes, they're trying to create a utopian society, but they had to use a major petri dish of humanity, okay, to figure out how to perfect the future. And so the next chapter, what is it called? I don't know. What is it called? Hold on. Everything is electric. And so I'm going to introduce piezoelectricity in the universe and then bring it back down to the biochemical level and then go into then the components, the specific components of the universe, neutrons, electrons, protons and image and all the things that make up not only the universe, but also your body. And it is all directly connected to electromagnetism, gravity, electromagnetism, and then the piezoelectric effect. And then how that impacts each specific cell all the way at the micro level, then to the macro level, to then what powers your car, so to speak. Now, am I going to get into the combustion engine and how your devices work? You can probably kind of see the connection just by looking at your own biochemistry and the bioengineering that's going on, but you're going to see the connection between it all. Okay, and so that's what I'm aiming to do, is to connect all the dots. And no matter what, if you don't have the body to be able to handle this aggressive atmosphere of so many viruses and the action potential of the piezoelectric effect, you're not going to survive. You will short circuit. And when people do get those mass therapeutics, they are short circuiting in their brain neurologically. They're already feeling the effects. And wait till when society opens up and all that electricity then is now this one mass huge electrical jolt. And someone who has a very, very weak heart and weak brain and weak vital organs, and they're already mass therapeutized and they think everything is so wonderful, and they get into a crowd of people, they are going to short fucking circuit. And this is when people drop like flies from heart attacks, from strokes, from aneurysms. They'll end up in the hospital because they won't know what to do with this major event. And now they're half paralyzed because that surge of energy basically crippled half their body. And that's where paralysis comes from that surge of energy that basically knocked out the power in half their body, in half their hemisphere. Half their brain got freaking fried. And it basically then was a chain reaction to all their different muscles and nervous system and everything. So this is so freaking insane that I just don't even know what to say. Except that you better do Jilly Juice. And if you're doing Jilly Juice, you will experience some form of piezoelectric effect, but you'll be supporting your body correctly. And you will survive the evolutionary process of these electrical impulses through J Juice and then the food supply. That's why there is ionic and covalent bonding. The covalent is the insulator. The ionic is the electricity. And if you have too much electricity and not enough insulation, you're going to fucking short circuit. And if you have too much insulation, not enough action potential or electricity, then you'll atrophy. You got to have a balance of both the yin and the yang. If not, you're going to atrophy or you're going to short fucking circuit. This is insane. Oh my God. All right. Bye, guys.